Hi everybody, I'm Hayden Crawford from numerologist.com and I'm a wellness coach specialising in colour therapy. Today I'm going to be discussing the rise of the new Lemuria and revealing 11 traits of these incredible light beings. The Lemurian race was a combination of beings that came from all over the universe, from Sirius, the Pleiades, Alpha Centauri and also a number of smaller planets as well. Over time, they kind of merged together and interbred and became this beautiful Lemurian civilization. Now, this was the start of culture as we knew it on the planet and gave birth to other major civilizations such as Atlantis. The continent of Lemuria was quite literally heaven on earth for a few million years. It must have been paradise to experience the magic of being there. Now, it existed in the Pacific around Hawaii, Easter Island and the Fijian Islands, and was connected all the way up through to British Columbia in Canada. It was much bigger than North America actually, and encompassed places like California, Nevada and Washington. Also parts of Madagascar formed it as well. So you can see it was a huge continent. The Lemurian age took place between the years of 4,500,000 BC and about 12,000 years ago until the sinking of the continents of Lemuria and Atlantis. Now, during that period, the Lemurians lived on a 5-dimensional frequency and they were able to switch backwards and forwards between 3rd and 5th dimension at will, and they could do it easily and effortlessly. All they would have to do is put out that intention and use the energies of the heart. This colossal continent literally disappeared overnight into the Pacific Ocean around about 12,000 years ago. It was a vast cataclysm, a thermo-atomic blast that wiped out their precious Mu, their motherland. They were devastated, they were absolutely destroyed as their fantastic continent literally disappeared and was gone forever. Being totally aware of their own demise, these ancient Lemurians used mastery of energy with crystals, sound and vibration to literally hollow out a vast underground city. This was with the intention of being able to preserve all of their artifacts and their wisdom from such an ancient time. And this has been lost literally since the time of Atlantis. So the truth is that Lemurians still exist, living in this subterranean city called Telos underneath Mount Shasta. It's absolutely incredible to believe that they've been able to preserve their culture for such a long period of time, literally living underneath this vast mountain. It seems almost impossible to believe, doesn't it? Now, around about 25,000 of them migrated into this subterranean city, and they've literally been coexisting there in peace and harmony and waiting for the vibration of the planet to reach and equal to theirs, this 5-dimensional frequency. And then the rumour has it that they're going to reveal themselves back to us. Now, at the time of the sinking of Lemuria, each and every single person was given the opportunity to be able to use their own free will and decide whether or not they wanted to come back as a volunteer to be able to help with the raising of consciousness back up to 5D from their falling into 3D, or to literally return back to their own light system or source. So Mount Shasta is a really surreal mountain, and it's part of the Cascade mountain range in Northern California. It actually is the cone of an extinct volcano which rises to its peak at 14,000 feet above sea level. It's actually one of the largest mountain peaks in the whole of the United States of America. Mount Shasta is magical and is literally considered to be one of the most sacred places on this planet. It holds a mystical power source and is a focus for angels, spirit guides, masters of the light realm, spaceships, as well as the ancient Lemurians who survived and decided to cohabitate this incredible realm underneath the surface of the earth. The Lemurians have carefully preserved their ancient culture, living underneath the earth. Now there's a series of tunnels which had been created by the volcanic eruptions that they'd made more livable, and they used them to be able to get from the main administration centre, which is Telos, to other parts of the inner world as well. It literally is a world within a world, and they've developed the Silver Fleet, which is a range of spaceships which can actually go up through the surface of the mountain and up into outer space. There they have access to the Galactic Federation of Light and the wisdom of the Pleiades, Sirius, and all of the other star constellations as well. Now I know this might sound ridiculous, but they actually do have the ability to make their spaceships invisible and soundless so they don't get detected by local and national military. And you know, think about it, there's over 1.5 million Lemurians living beneath the surface of the planet right now. And of course, you know, they don't want to bring attention to themselves. They are fundamentally three-dimensional beings, but they have this ability to be able to switch in between 3D, 4D and 5D, so that they can actually make themselves invisible very, very quickly and at will. Now, many people have reported seeing strange lights on the mountain, and one explanation for this could be that there's a constant stream of spaceships that are actually leaving from a spaceport deep within the mountain. Now, Mount Shasta isn't just home for the ancient Lemurians, it's actually an intergalactic, interplanetary and multi-dimensional portal. Now there's also a huge etheric city of light above Mount Shasta called the Crystal City of the Seven Rays, which is due to appear into physical reality over the next 12 to 20 years, hopefully. Now this magnificent city of light is due to be the very first light city that appears on the surface of the planet. But in order for us to be able to perceive it, everybody who's living here has to be able to raise their vibration up into 5D so that they can actually see it. Exciting times ahead, I'd say, wouldn't you? So what are the 11 traits of a Lemurian? Well, number one is that they are instinctive and intuitive. They trust their gut implicitly, and because of this, it leads to a progression of their character. Number two is that they have supernatural powers. Now, the Lemurian culture actually learned how to work within the quantum field, and because of this, they found a pathway through to 5D frequency. Now, they could also shift their frequency from 3D to 5D with intention, so they could do that effortlessly. They also developed their sixth sense and could communicate telepathically and with extrasensory perception. So they could actually learn how to teleport, and they could shift their physical bodies. They really were an ancient culture living in a 5D frequency. Number three is that they have infinite knowledge. Their wisdom is boundless, and because of this, they carried out and completed some extraordinary feats. They literally knew something about everything, from hydroponics all the way through to, you know, the most amazing mathematical equations. Number four is that they have a feminine ideology. Now, remember that Lemuria gave birth to Atlantis and other civilizations as well, and there were conflicting ideologies. So Lemuria believed that no one should be forced into spiritual conversion, and they should have their own free will to be able to choose what they believe and what their values are, whereas the Atlanteans were, on the other hand, thinking that no, they wanted to force people into certain values and belief systems and spiritualities. So this whole demise arose where, you know, ultimately Lemuria was destroyed in a thermonuclear blast, and they had to go into this period of darkness and demise. Number five is that they were highly evolved. The Lemurians were aligned to their higher selves. their I amness and also their star families. They knew exactly how the universe worked and were really aligned to the energy systems in and around the planet. They believed in this sense of equality and oneness and could see the unity in everything. Number 6 is that they are gifted healers. Now, Lemurians held extremely powerful healing gifts, and it's likely that if you're a volunteer yourself, that you're starting to remember your golden gifts around about now. So whatever you were doing during the time of Lemuria is exactly what you're attracted to now and bringing that awareness back into conscious reality. Number 7 is that they became volunteers. Everyone was given a choice whether or not that they were going to become disincarnate beings and return to source energy or their own star or light system, or that they could choose to become a volunteer and help humanity in that evolutionary process of the ascension from 3D to 5D consciousness. So those of us that actually chose to come back and be a volunteer had no idea how much of a mission that was going to be, how much pain and struggle that they were going to have to go through, how much trauma, how much tragedy in the rebalancing of this new awareness. It really was something that people didn't even consider, or they probably wouldn't have done it. 12,000 years of being caught up in this perpetual birth-death life cycle. The thinking of Lemuria is actually embedded within the human genetics, and it's a very long and arduous process for it to be released and resolved. Number 8 is that they speak Solara, Maru and English. So their mother tongue is a native Lemurian language, and they also speak as a second language English, and they've got a very refined accent. It's almost got a bit of an English twang to it. Now, they've chosen to speak English as their second language because they're situated in America. Number 9 is that they're very graceful and tall. They're commonly described this way and are at least 7 feet tall. They've got very slender bodies and necks, and they tend to have long flowing hair as well. And they're very attractive. They wear beautiful long white robes with sandals, or they've also been known to be wearing bright colourful clothes as well, with decorative collars encrusted with gemstones. Number 10 is that they have mastered technology, electronics and atomics. So allegedly the Lemurians mastered atomics, science and technology, but also have heightened levels of clairvoyance and telepathic skills. They literally have developed these over 18,000 years, so they're far superior to anything that's ever been achieved before. These beautiful people control their technology with their minds, so it is absolutely incredible and unbelievably different to anything that you or I have ever experienced. They literally make us surface dwellers look like toddlers. Number 11 is that they have longevity. The Lemurian physical body doesn't age thanks to an advanced hydroponic technology which enables them to exist on a living diet, which means that they can get as much life force from the vegetables that they eat. They tend to be vegetarians as they don't believe in animals having to die to be able to service their needs. They are extremely passionate about this, and they have created the most pristine, organic, beautiful farms where they can cultivate the land and produce enough food for everybody with ease and grace. It's fantastic to see. Now, the other beautiful thing is that because of this, their physical bodies can literally exist for hundreds and hundreds of years. Fact: Lemuria still exists in 4th and 5th dimensional frequencies today, not yet visible to our 3rd dimensional perceptions. Literally, we are in the process of waking up to the new Lemuria, where once again it's going to rise out of the ashes in a very physical and tangible way as the veil between those worlds becomes thinner and thinner. It's so exciting to be a part of this moment in history where literally the doors are opening to the new world, and we have all of that wisdom at our fingertips, and we are starting to rediscover our golden gifts that we used to have during the time of Atlantis, and we can share these with the planet and help to continue to raise the frequency up and up and up. That torch is going to be held high as Lemuria returns in a much newer and fresher way, and literally is going to make a huge difference in the whole evolution of the universe. We are so privileged. If you've already discovered your golden gift, I'd be so keen to hear what it is. Just leave a few comments below to let me know if you think that you're a volunteer from Lemuria, and I'd just be so excited to hear what it is that you're giving back and how you're being of service. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.